Before we get into today's video, don't worry, it's coming right up, but I just want to say to you guys a huge thank you for all the support I've had on this channel the past few weeks and past few months even. It's been crazy. It's been good to get to chat to all you guys in the comments. You know I love reading your comments and replying to you guys as well. All the tips have been really helpful and I really have enjoyed doing this the past few months. But as you can see, we're now actually getting quite close to 1,000 subscribers. Those of you who know YouTube know that's a big milestone because that's when you can start to be able to monetize your videos. But if you are wondering and you are not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below, because when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I don't know whether you guys will enjoy this or not, let me know down below. But what we'll be doing is we'll just be doing a live stream. We'll do it for a full day on a weekend, on a Saturday or a Sunday, and we'll just do some football trading together. We'll do some bets, watch the football, do some tennis trading, we'll do loads of stuff for a full day, answer loads of questions, anything you want. Let me know if that sounds like a good plan down below, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll get that live stream sorted as soon as possible. Last week on this channel we did a challenge where we did a full week of doing some football trading. This time around I decided it was only right we showed you guys what you can do when you trade with football. I thought we may as well go ahead and show you guys what happens if you follow a tipster giving bets on football. So in case you don't know what a football tipster is, essentially they are a individual who's either on Twitter or on a tipster platform or anything like that, and they provide you some research and some evidence as to why they think you should follow certain bets. They'll tell you what bet to put on, and then hopefully you'll get some profit from doing that. You might be wondering how they make their money through doing that, if they do that full time. They do it using referral codes. For example, if you go down the description today, you'll see my referral code for PaddyPower, my referral code for Betfair. If you use the PaddyPower one, I get anywhere between £10 and £100. If you use the Betfair one, I get £10 per person who signs up. That's how they make their money doing this. It's as simple as that. But then you might also wonder, why do people follow them? Do they just shove out any bet and hope it works? Because even a wrong clock is right twice a day. So the reason I'd suggest being a bit more cautious with football tipsters is just because of that reason. Some of them just throw a load of rubbish at you and they're just complete spam accounts. So I'm going to show you guys straight away the account that I'm using this week. And the account I used this week was over on Twitter, as you can see behind me. It's Andy Robson Tips. The reason I've used Andy Robson Tips is because I've used him before, and it is really clear in just a second why I use his tips. So if we look out here, you can see he's got a bet out today. So today is Tuesday. I have already done all this week, so don't worry, I'm going to take you guys through the bets in just a second. But you can see he's got a Tuesday treble up here. Instantly you can load it into your PaddyPower account just by clicking that link. And then also down below he has research. So he's got the bet there telling you what he thinks will happen. So he thinks Peterborough and Stockport will win and 2 or more goals will happen in the Wimbledon-Rochdale game. You might think, okay, fair enough, there's his little bit of tip, and now you want to know why he thinks they're going to happen. And there you go. There's his research. He has all his research for every single one of his tips that come up. He doesn't just throw tips at you. He shows you guys why he thinks you should follow them tips. Now still, just as a little disclaimer, at the end of the day, this is still betting. You can still lose a lot of money doing this every week. I wouldn't recommend it. It's still only use as much money as you can afford to risk. Don't use this as anything but just a bit of fun on the side. And the second it stops being fun, obviously stop gambling as well. Obviously another big point to get out the way here is the fact that I did this last week. You guys don't know yet if I made a profit or if I made a loss. Regardless of what happens this week, if I was to do this exact same thing next week and follow all of Andy Robson's tips, next week I could be up in a couple thousands or I could be down a couple hundred. It really fluctuates week on week. You can do as much research as you want, similar to football trading, and you can still walk away with a loss. So just be careful. At the end of the day, it is still just football and anything can happen. But let's get started. So I put in £100 in my PaddyPower account, similar to how we started with £100 in my Betfair account last week. And the reason I'm a little bit off centre here today is because I'm going to be putting the bets up here alongside me, because I've got all the little photos of all of them. I'm just going to quickly walk you through them all. We're not going to make this video go on forever. I'm just going to talk you through each bet, quickly tell you if it happened and if it didn't happen and how close it was to coming off as well. And then we'll do a quick wrap up at the end, telling you guys how many bets we did this week, whether or not I'd recommend you following a football tipster, and then we'll finally finish off with our total profit and loss. So let's get started then. So the first bet then, as you can see alongside me, was Manchester City to win, Sevilla to win either half, and 3+ goals in the Dortmund Union Berlin game. Manchester City won their game, it was against Aston Villa. Sevilla won the second half 1-0, and Dortmund finished, unfortunately, as you can see, because the bet was a loss, the Dortmund game finished 2-0. It didn't have 3 goals. Haaland missed 4 sitters apparently, so apparently it just wasn't his day. But you can see already how close that was to coming in. Them odds were 2.88, £10 stake, so already £10 down after the first bet. We then had an accumulator as well on the first day. You can see that to my right hand side there as well. We only put £5 on the accumulator for that day. You can see 3 of them came in, and unfortunately it was just 2 of the other games that didn't come in. But again, fairly decent here. Even if you'd just put on them 3 odds, you would have got a good return. So it wasn't the end of the world. We've had 2 really close shaves here. 2 where they could have won very easily if just a few things had gone differently for us. But now we are sat there, £15 down. And we're still only on day 1. The next bet, this is where it gets a bit more interesting, because Andy Robson tips, he doesn't put out a tip every single day. He doesn't like to do that. He doesn't like to put his name on something that he doesn't think is going to happen. So unless he can do enough research behind a game or put enough thought into a game, he won't publicise a tip. But what he does do is something that I'm hopefully going to put alongside me here, or maybe just scroll on the full screen. He does a cheat sheet for pretty much every game in the top 5 leagues. And what this cheat sheet shows you is who has the most shots on target per game, who commits the most fouls, who has the most yellow cards, who their opponent will be in the game, who they'll be marking, and everything that you could possibly need. So using his cheat sheet, I did then put on bets every day where he didn't provide a bet. Quite simply, I looked at the tip sheet or the cheat sheet, and I looked at whoever had the most shots on target, and I put them there to get a shot on target. I looked at who had the most fouls or most yellow cards, and who was marking a particular tricky player, and then I would put them on there to get a yellow card. So as you can see to my right now, I put on for James Maddison to have a shot on target, and I put for Yuri Tielemans to get a yellow card because he was marking Pereira in that game. So I thought it was bound to get a yellow card in that game. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. £5 stake there, meaning we're now £20 down. But one thing you'll have noticed is if any of these bets had actually come in, we would be straight in the profit by a huge margin. It's not a case of football trading where we kind of only aim for a 10 to 20% profit if we can do, and then look to get out. This one here, you'll be making a couple 100% profit if it does come in. It's just the fact that you might lose a lot of money before you actually get to that point. For example, this James Maddison and Yuri Tielemans one, £5 at a 11.72 stake, or odds I should say, would have got me a return of £53.65 profit, or a return of £58.65 without the £5 stake getting returned. So that would have put us right back in profit again. So you can see these are the types of bets we're doing. Although James Maddison did have a shot on target, however, Yuri Tielemans did not get a yellow card, so we did miss out on that one. But then we move forward again to another tip I did from the cheat sheet. I put Luca Digne to get a yellow card, Dominic Calvert-Lewin to have a shot on target, and for there to be over 2.5 goals. Unfortunately, it finished 1-0 to Everton in that game, so we didn't get the goals, we didn't get the yellow card from Digne, and for some reason, Dominic Calvert-Lewin didn't have a shot on target either. So that did unfortunately mean that we were down another few pounds there. You might have realised I've stopped telling you how much we're down in total. That's because I want you guys to stick around to the end. I'm trying to trick you into it here. Then on the next day, something that I really do enjoy about Andy Robson tips is the main thing that he tends to do. He'll do what's called a betting train. So he'll get you to start off on the train with £10, and then there'll be about 6 bets. If you win the first bet, you then have like £20. You then use that £20 to do the next bet. And he genuinely does it quite a lot. And it does tend to work quite a bit as well. Mainly whenever I've not done it, it tends to work, which is a bit of a pain. But he occasionally does it where you'll start with £10 and he'll get you up to £1,000. Start with £10, he'll get you to £500. This time around he was using his own cheat sheets method, and he was getting from £10 to £100. So obviously we took that on board. As you can see to my right hand side here, it was Mohamed Salah to have 2 or more shots on target and Diogo Jota to have 1. And that came in, we got our 10 to our 22, and the next step in that challenge was to get 22 to 44, 44 to 65, 65 to 100. You can obviously see how that goes, but we'll keep you up to date on that because he does 2 on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday, so you'll have to wait and see. And now that we've got a little bit into this video and you can see what's going on, I want you guys to let me know down in the comments how much of a profit or loss you think we'll have at the end of this video. I know a lot of you guys who watch this are normally just interested in football trading or just generally making money online. So I want you guys to all take part in this. I want you to all just predict and see how close you can get. We started with 100. Do you think we're going to be in profit? Do you think we're going to lose money? Or do you think we're just going to kind of break even? So let me know down in the comments. Don't cheat, but let me know and we'll see who can get the closest. So the next bet was another little accumulator bet from Andy Robson Tips. I know I keep saying his full name, but I don't know him well enough to just call him Andy. But from his Tipster page on Twitter, you can see this next accumulator again was very close. Wolfsburg Dortmund letting us down. I think it was 1 goal off getting that one in, and then Girona Spezia. Apparently there was lots of chances in that game, and unfortunately just no one knew how to finish. So it was a bit of a shame, but we did end up losing that bet. But again, so close for them all to come in. The next bet was another one I did myself. I went a bit more out of it this time. I went for a big bet. I saw loads of people replying to the tweets with the cheat sheets on Twitter, and I was determined to get a big win like they were. So I went for Mark Noble to get a yellow card, Timo Werner to have a shot on target, Cesar Azpilicueta to get a yellow card, and there to be over 2.5 goals and under 12.5 corners. I did do some research behind this, and unfortunately for me, it didn't come through. But you can see with 86.06 odds, for those who just use fractional odds, if you're just a normal bettor who does it for fun, the decimal odds are so much easier to understand. £5 times £86 and 6 pence, that will be the return we will get. So you can see it would be a massive return if that had come in. And I honestly thought that stood a chance, but unfortunately for us it wasn't meant to be. But then moving on, we now have the next bet in the £10 to £100 challenge, and this time it was Jesse Lingard to have 1 shot on target and Mason Mount to have 1 shot. Jesse Lingard's shot on target, for those of you who watched that game, was the free kick. The free kick where Mendy was so far out of his goal that Jesse Lingard from about 40 yards decided to try and have an attempt, and it was so little power on that free kick. I could have saved it, but that was the shot on target that won us that bet. So we're now £42 in profit. So that's all good for that one. Halfway to £100. I think by this point we were up to £97 balance. So despite all the bets we'd lost, we were climbing back up and we're only £3 off. The next bet that came in was another goals accumulator. Again, I didn't really read the research for these ones because I trust that enough research has gone into them. But if you're following a tipster like this, do the research, look into it, make sure you believe a bet will actually come in. Don't just blindly back whatever they say. Unfortunately, this one didn't come in, but again, it was fairly close. I think Fiorentina Juventus was 1 goal off. I don't know what the Monaco one was. I don't know what the Ajax one was either. But they did all look to be high-scoring games, and unfortunately just didn't come off at the end of the day. But this right here is where our £10 to £100 challenge goes in the mud. It was Bruno Fernandes to have 1 or more shot on target and Patrick Bamford to have just 1 or more shot. Didn't even need to be on target. And unfortunately for us, Bamford didn't have a single shot, and Bruno Fernandes had 5 shots off target but not a single one on target. It was hyped up to be a massive game and it ended up being a 0-0. Could you picture anything more obvious than that? But unfortunately it happens. We lost the whole £44 stake, but at the end of the day, you kind of predicted that to happen. It wasn't that high odds. That's the reason I quite like them challenges, because you start off quite high odds when you've got the low amount of money. So the £10 will go to 40, the £20 will go to 80, stuff like that. But then when you get to the higher amounts, you don't risk it as much. It's kind of lower bets with higher bets, I should say, with lower stakes, just to try and boost that money up. But unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. I was happy to back that. I was adamant it would come in, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. We then had the Carabao Cup Final, and we had a bet from the tipster himself, and then I made myself a bet as well. You'll see why in just a second, but the first one is from Andy Robson Tips, and you can see Phil Foden had a shot on target, Mahrez had a shot on target, we just needed Heung-min Son to have a shot on target, and Højbjerg, who's had one of the most yellow cards in the Premier League this season, to get booked, and unfortunately them two just didn't happen. But again, looked very likely, was happy to back that. And then I put on a bet myself. This one was a bit more out there, and it was because you had a free bet for the Cup Final through PaddyPower. They'll occasionally run promotions like that, and we had a free £5 bet to use. So I just used that on that game as well. We went for Harry Kane to have a shot on target, Harry Kane to score, Harry Winks to get a yellow card, and Tottenham to win. I thought we'll go completely out there and go for the wildest case scenario. And unfortunately for us, we didn't get it. So we didn't actually lose any money on that one, because we did just get our £5 back. But I was still fairly confident with that one. And then we go back again to another bet that I created through the cheat sheet. Ollie Watkins to have a shot on target, and Baidi Yang to have a shot on target, and then Conor Gallagher and John McGinn to get yellow cards. And trust me, I could have cashed out for a good amount of money in this one, but I was determined to see John McGinn get a yellow card. He had 2 fouls in the game from about the 30th minute, and they always say your third foul is your yellow card, and unfortunately just didn't come. This one would have put us right back in the profit again. £3 for the basically £22 stake, so 3 times 22 would have been our return, would have been amazing to our score, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. Yet again, so close. The research was definitely paying off, but unfortunately we just didn't get that profit there. And then finally, we had a bet yesterday. I had £5 worth of free bets from PaddyPower's Rewards Club for doing £5 worth of £5 bets during the week. And then I had £3 free bet for I really don't know what, but it was there. So we had an £8 free bet. So I thought, AC Milan Lazio, Lucas Leiva always gets yellow cards, as does Franck Kessié. He always fouls people as well, one of the most fouls committed in the Serie A, so I was happy for them to get booked. The referee gives out 6 cards a game in this game, so I was quite happy for that. And then Çalhanoğlu and Serge Milinkovic-Savic both to have a shot on target. In the first 2 minutes, Çalhanoğlu got his shot on target. I was so happy. I thought this was coming in. £400 would have been our return if this come in. We could have cashed out for about £25 in the first few minutes. Obviously that is a huge cash out considering it doesn't include our stake. But I thought I'd let it ride. I didn't want to cash out. I didn't want to be cautious this week. Caution is for football trading. This is for going all out and just hoping for them big returns. Unfortunately though, it didn't happen. And the only thing that happened in this game was the one thing we said would happen in the first 2 minutes. So that is all the bets for the week. We did it for a full week. We came close on a few, and we nearly got our £100 from just £10 at the start. It was close, and it was quite fun as well, to be honest. It was a bit less stressful, shall I say, than football trading. Took a lot less effort, but then again, you'll see in just a minute, we did lose a lot more money. So in total, we did 13 bets across the week. We had £100 starting off as our balance, but over the course of the week, we actually staked a total of £137. So you can see we did make a bit of profit on certain bets, and we were able to actually wager more than we had in our account. But to finish off, we did make a loss of £60 over the week. We're left with just £40, in our PaddyPower account, so it wasn't the greatest. Yes, a few of the bets, if they just came in, maybe even 1 or 2 extra bets had come in, we'd be sat on a couple £100 worth of profit. But at the end of the day, that is how betting goes. Again, I just want to clarify, if I was to do this video again next week, we could have hundreds of pounds worth of profit. It's nothing against Andy Robson. If anything, I would recommend using his tips if you were going to go up with Tipster, because he does the research. But let me know down in the comments if you've got any tipsters you follow. Don't put links down there just because links automatically get removed from YouTube comments, but just put the names down there and I'll be sure to give them a check out. Let me know down in the comments as well if you've got any recommendations for videos to see in the future, and I'll get straight on them and get them made. And also let me know if you want me to see if I can be a football tipster for a week. Let me do the research, put some bets on myself, and see if we can make some profit through me doing the research instead of someone else. But thank you for watching. Please hit the like button if you can. I'd like some likes in return for my £60 that we've lost this week. Hit the subscribe button too if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.